Hi everybody, my name is Greta Hamilton. I work for Lake County Stormwater. Some of my duties include inspecting construction sites and responding to spills in the storm drains and our waterways. What we're going to be working on today is this stormwater scavenger hunt. It's pseudo scavenger hunt. Can't really send you outside and still watch the video, and it's more like blackout bingo with a free space in the middle. So just kind of take a minute to look over this, and what I'd like you to do to start while I'm talking, like work on this while I'm talking and help your friends, is to circle 5 simple acts that you can do every day to help improve water quality. See if you can find all 5. If you can't find all 5, it's all right. But help your friends, and I'm going to give you the answers right now. Here we go. So the 5 simple acts that you can do every day is bag and trash your pet waste, pick up and throw away trash, recycle plastics, use household chemicals sparingly and safely dispose, fix auto leaks and recycle oil, mulch or compost grass, leaves, and yard debris. Did you get all 5? If not, you've got them now, so go ahead and circle those. The other thing is there's a little square at the top of your scavenger hunt sheet at the very end of the top row that says, what does BMP stand for? BMP is office lingo for best management practices. We're going to refer to these as simple acts. All right, so think about how many storm drains you walked past on your way to school this morning. And do you remember what Bob was saying about the biggest difference between the sewer system and our storm drains? Do you remember that he said that everything that goes into the storm drains is not treated? So this goes directly into our waterways. Everything that comes off the asphalt and the concrete goes right down these storm drains and straight into our rivers and streams. Anytime it snows, rains, any overwatering, when our sprinklers are going crazy and spraying all over the road, it's picking up all that stuff on the road and it's carrying them right down these storm drains. They're everywhere, and they are really important to protect. Think about how much trash you walked past on the way to school today. Did you walk past cigarette butts, plastic wrappers, plastic bottles, combs, toys? It's kind of crazy how much stuff winds up in our gutters and then winds up right on top of our storm drains. The simple act of picking up the trash prevents water flow problems, bank erosion problems, water contamination, and it prevents the wildlife from eating it, right? We don't want these little guys having microplastics in their stomachs. On your scavenger hunt sheet, name an action that you can take when you see some trash on the ground. Also, I don't know if they're still teaching the 3 R's, but when I was a kid, we were taught reduce, reuse, recycle. And we all know that the recycling system is a little bit broken right now. So the best options are to reduce what we use and to use reusable items. And you probably use a bunch of these every day that you don't even realize that you're using, like your backpacks, your lunch bags, water bottles, mugs, straws, plates. And then you'll just want to pop over on your scavenger hunt sheet and write down a reusable that you use every day. Household chemicals. These chemicals are harmful and toxic to both humans and wildlife. It's so important that these never ever get dumped down the drain. And also that you follow the directions explicitly. Some of these things could be like bleach, bug spray, antifreeze, nail polish remover. Write down on your scavenger hunt sheet one that you can think of that I probably missed. And there is also, I just want to let you guys know about the disposal option, because some people don't actually know that it's free to take any of your household hazardous chemicals out to the dump, and they will take it for free and they will safely dispose of it. Doesn't matter if it's full, half full, couple drops left in the bottle, but it is never okay to dump these down the drain. Cars, who's thinking about driving? Cars are so smart these days. More and more people are not able to work on them themselves anymore. which means that there's less fluids and stuff leaking onto our driveways, which is great, right? Especially with the electric vehicles. There's no oil leaking out of the electric vehicles, but we've got a long way before all the cars are replaced by those. There's still plenty of home oil changes, and you're probably like, well, how can I even help with this? Like, I don't drive. I don't even change my own oil. Well, a lot of what you guys can do involves educating adults. We get lazy, we forget. Sometimes we're just so busy we don't notice. So like if you see an oil spill in your parents' driveway, let them know that, hey, you could throw some kitty litter down on there. It's going to soak it up, and we'll sweep it up and put it in the garbage, and it is all taken care of. Never, ever hose anything down the storm drain, and definitely don't hose car fluids down the driveway into the storm drains either. Car washes, the nice thing about modern car washes is they recycle the water, and whatever they don't recycle, they send down to the sewer to be treated. So they're not sending pollutants down the storm drains or down our driveways. So the best option if car washing is not possible at a car wash, I mean, not everybody has the monthly fast pass to get their car washed, right? I know I don't. You'll want to try to wash your car on your lawn if you can, because the lawn will filter out some of those pollutants and stuff before they make it to the waterways. And then also remember that safe cleaners, safe and not non-toxic cleaners, once they mix with the chemicals, the grease, the metals, fluids of these cars, they're no longer safe. So we definitely want to make sure that we're being responsible with washing our cars. And like I said, it probably doesn't really involve you too much, but remind the adult in your life. Yard stuff. You guys probably aren't doing a ton of this either, right? But think about the last time you were walking on the sidewalk and saw those little green balls all over the sidewalk. I remember when I was a kid, I used to think that they were bug eggs. But those are actually little fertilizer balls. And what do you think happens to those little fertilizer balls as soon as it rains or we run our sprinklers? Those little guys float right down into the storm drains. And the problem with them is that they then increase the nitrogen and the phosphorus in our water systems. This has a negative effect on the ecosystems. You guys have all heard about the HABs, the harmful algal blooms. You haven't been able to use Utah Lake for recreation. The Jordan River has had sections closed down because of this stuff. It's really important what you can do is sweep these up, or remind an adult to sweep these up. Leaves and grass, you want to mulch those as much as you can. They're natural, right? And people always kind of wonder, well, what's the problem? Why can't these be out here? And the problem is that we've created so much cement and asphalt in the cities that these leaves don't have anywhere to decay. And so when they travel down the storm drains, they go into our waterways where they start to decay in the water. And when that happens, it uses up all the oxygen that the macroinvertebrates and our fish need to survive. It can cause flooding, which neighbors are never really too stoked on when the storm drains are full, and then so is their basement, right? So again, if you don't have a lot of control over this, or you're not able to sweep up, help the adult who's doing this stuff sweep up, explain to them and just remind them, because we do forget. We get forgetful. We're very busy people these days. Yay, poop. That's what we all say when we step in it, right? Yeah, no, me either. Now, it's not only aggravating, it's unsanitary. People do wonder what is the problem with dog poop, right? It's natural. Humans poop, animals poop. The problem is that dog poop is full of bacteria and parasites, especially if they're fed a meat diet. And these parasites and bacteria, when the levels get too high, it makes it unsafe for recreation. It makes it unsafe for swimming, kayaking. It makes it pretty much unsafe to get in the water. If you don't know what E. coli is, you've probably at some point had or known somebody who's had a really bad case of food poisoning. It's terrible, right? They've probably had an encounter with E. coli. E. coli is responsible for 260,000 illnesses every year and 100 deaths, which is too many people to die from food poisoning and food poisoning symptoms. Okay, so this question on your scavenger hunt is actually going to be for 2 different boxes. It's going to ask you to name a local waterway, and it's also going to ask you to name an impaired stream. Well, unfortunately, guys, every stream basically at the mouth of both canyons and all the way out west to the Oakers, anything that's kind of in that central city system is impaired. So that's Immigration, that's Mill Creek, that's Big Cottonwood, Little Cottonwood, Midas Creek, Rose Creek, and the Jordan River. Those are all impaired for E. coli. So none of those creeks are safe to drink the water by any means. So what can you do, right? The best thing you can do is bag the dog poop and make sure it gets thrown away. When you bag it and it just gets left, then we're twofold adding to pollution. We've got E. coli pollution and plastic pollution. So make sure that if you are responsible in picking it up, don't leave it. All right, finally, guys, we're going to go to the very bottom row here at the very last corner, and we're going to circle yes. And this is us making a pledge to protect our water, a pledge to not waste it, keep storm drains clear, and help educate others. Because really that's the biggest tool that we have to help each other, is to get the word out and help educate others, because a lot of people just don't know. I think most people are most surprised by the fact that water isn't treated once it hits the storm drain, and then it goes right into our rivers. And then finally, I just want to tell you guys about part of my job. So if you see somebody dumping in the storm drain, call this number, 801-580-6681, and it's not going to call the police or anything. What it's going to do is it's going to get the proper people like me out to a site to get these cleaned up before they hit our waterways. It's super important. And thank you guys so much for having me. And I'm gonna turn it over to Carrie now, and she's gonna take it from here. Thank you again. Have a good one.